Clay Henry, formerly the editor and publisher of Hogs Illustrated, now happily retired, but doing a whole lot of other things. Clay, you sent us some photos of some beautiful catches on your trip to Wyoming from last week. Looked like you just had a great time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. My good friend Jim Daniel from, just south of Greeley, has a ranch out there. We headed out, went to Walden, Colorado, and stayed up there. It was 30 degrees that night, about 8,500 feet. Had a great chicken fried steak, and you hadn't had chicken fried steak until you had one at the River Rock Cafe in Walden. And then we went to fish the encampment high in the mountains, about 9,000 feet. Didn't catch, fish there, but then we went to Big Horn River, Thermopolis, Wyoming, and with guide Michael Graham from Crazy Rainbow Outfitters in Casper. Caught some big rainbows there. I think I sent you a picture of one from there. And then bounced over to the North Platte in the Gray Reef section, just south of Casper, and really caught some nice fish there. I had a big cutthroat on for about 2, 3, 4 minutes. They call them a rodeo. When I qualified for the 8-second ride, but I didn't get it to the net. It made 3 big jumps. I don't know how long that fish was because we didn't get it to the net, but it was, one of those 25-inch big old good ones. And it finally came out of the water about 3 feet, showed me all of its color, and then just slung the size 20 fly straight at me. But that's okay. I was going to let it go anyway. So it gave me a great thrill.
So for somebody,
and then we enjoyed driving. We enjoyed listening to Texas get beat on the radio. Jim and I both we turned off George Strait to listen to that.
Wow.
There you go, man.
That's impressive for you, Clay, to turn off George Strait. I mean, I guess it just shows that your hatred of Texas does outrank pretty much everything, right?
No question. Well, we're just driving through Wyoming, just, long, straight roads through those flats and hills. And then I will say my trip home was spiced with listening to Phil and Bubba on the Stanford call. It was a great way to cover, maybe 300 miles of Kansas on I-70. I have to go all the way to Kansas City and then down through Springfield and Branson to get to Norfolk. But, Bill, y'all painted it, and, it was great fun to listen to that. Thank you for getting me home with that victory.
I appreciate you saying it. And we had a lot of fun doing that yesterday, and on Saturday too. It was a heck of a lot of fun.
Yep.
What's your sense of round 5, Arkansas versus Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know who's going to start this game. Connor Nolan, Hagen Smith. What do you think?
I think that either one of those are fine. The key is you're going to have to score some runs. Ole Miss is scoring runs right now. They've got a great offense. They always have. That was why they were projected so high. You just didn't know if they'd ever get their pitching settled out. They had some troubles early. And they now have, their pitching a little bit better. But I think, their pitching is a little bit limited at this point, too. We'll see. But I really like Arkansas's chances. And I think they know they can beat Ole Miss. Now, you have to remember, I'm expecting great things because Ole Miss was my first pitch night. Remember, Kendall Diggs hit the home run.
Yeah, that's right.
So
we got to get you out here. We got to get you out here, Clay. We need you. We need you before the game. Then.
I'm coming at some point. They just need to win another game or two, and I'll be up there. That's my plan anyway. Do some stuff with you guys and Ty, and do some stuff for Hogs Plus, But I'm going to go out my driveway and throw a pitch. It won't go very far. It's not like I have to chase it down, a few blocks. I don't have – mine is a gravity changeup that'll just die at the end of the driveway. But I'm going to throw a first pitch, and I think that will help.
Hey, Clay, as long as you can throw it for a strike and get a few ground balls out of it, it'll be an effective pitch, that's for sure.
Do I throw strikes, Phil? Do I throw strikes?
You did throw a strike on the first pitch, if I remember correctly. It did not bounce. It was a strike.
Thrower. I'm a strike thrower. Yeah.
Well, you talked about.
I don't necessarily work the corners. It usually just kind of dies right behind the plate.
Well, Clay, you talked about how Ole Miss, they definitely can score some runs, but so can Arkansas. I mean, 17, 5, and 11. That's pretty good, I mean, in a 3-game stretch. And two of the most important bats in this lineup, I think, have been Peyton Stovall and Michael Turner. Which one do you think is more important to stay hot for Arkansas to survive and advance?
Yeah, those two are, I think they need them both. But I would add Lanzilli in there, too. And he's made two of the biggest swings, I think his swing against Stanford was really the dagger. And I think Stanford knew they were toast at that point. And, pretty soon after that, they started trotting out some guys that they just wanted to get the game over, and that's how the run total got up there. But that was a hit off their ace that set the tone for that game. And Lanzilli seems like he's really figured it out. And but yeah, Turner's been good for a good part of the season, and then Stovall has just been electric of late. I mean, 5 hits in a College World Series game, that's legendary stuff. That's kind of like that big cutthroat I almost had. I mean, that stuff, you put that box score up on your wall.
Yeah, that's something that goes down in Arkansas lore and history. And, the performance that he's having as a freshman this season, where would you rank his freshman season among some of the other great Arkansas freshmen? I mean, would he be in the top 5 freshmen of all time, I guess, this year?
Yeah, I'd have to really check that out. That's a good question. But I was thinking earlier, the way he's finishing the season, I would compare it to Zach Cox. Now, Zach Cox, he flirted with 400 for the season. But I would say what he's done surely, would qualify for freshman All-America. And I don't know if those awards are already out, but he is, what really you want to measure somebody by is how they do in postseason, and no one's done any better than that.
Clay, we like it. We've been spoiled a little bit by some of the true freshmen that have gotten a chance to start. I mean, Robert Moore, it was like he was born, hitting doubles when in there in 2020, and it continued last year. Sure. Obviously, this year's been a little bit different. Heston Kjerstad and Casey Martin, two of the pillars of the 2018 team, true freshmen.
College World Series. Yep.
Well, and they were crushing the ball from the start of the year. This has been a much different story with Stovall. I mean, he's a guy that Dave's even openly talked about that he would have turned down $2 million to come to Arkansas. He could have been playing professional baseball, and I think based on that, like everybody was expecting to see the same thing that you saw from Kjerstad or from Casey Martin.
Well, that's all together true, and he chased out of the zone a little bit, and that's what he was advertised that he would not do that. He's got that beautiful flat swing, compact flat swing, and he can pull the trigger really quick, so that gives him the ability to wait on fastballs and time, the breaking pitch. And he can hit either one, but he chased out of the zone and would chase the high strike or even the one that's a little bit out elevated. You can't hit that. He had to learn that, that pitch is 95 and you got a high spin rate and you can't touch it. I don't care what your classification is. And so he had to learn to lay off that pitch. And once he did, his eye is really good. And he just had to know that, he had to see the ball down. And he's terrific. He will time a breaking pitch. And so you have the ability to spray those line drives all around the field, and he's only going to get better. I mean, I think we're just seeing the very start of it with Stovall, and that's why he would have been a first rounder if he would have said he didn't want to go to college.
I think Dave, obviously he changed the lineup around a lot near the end of the regular season because he's just trying to find something that worked that led to wins, and they weren't going on. In the postseason, the lineup has been the same, almost exactly the same every game until yesterday. Now, one of the things Dave did that I think has really paid off is move Braden Webb into the leadoff spot. And then switching Slavens and Stovall yesterday was just a brilliant move. And it's going to be really difficult to take Peyton Stovall out of the second spot of the lineup for the remainder of this year and probably next year too.
Well, and then you got Caden Wallace hitting behind him, and that really helps Stovall. So, I mean, Caden Wallace is a big part of, when you got that guy sitting there, you know that he can. It's hard to pitch him outside because he'll go the other way. And Braden Witt's the same way. Their opposite field power is really good. Now, I say they can score runs, but they're going to need to score runs against Ole Miss to get two victories. I think, it might be one of those 10 to 8 games twice.
Mm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we got Connor Nolan. That might change it a little bit. I don't know. Y'all have a feel whether Connor might get the ball tonight?
I mean, that's like the $25,000 question right now. Is it Noland or is it Smith? Do you ask Connor to pitch on short rest? Is Hagen Smith ready to make a start for the first time in the postseason? It's just there's a lot of questions. There's a second start in the postseason. A lot of questions. Yep. I don't know which way to lean, to be honest.
Well, hey, I trust Dave Van Horn. He's right most of the time. Most of the time, he understands exactly what, and he's usually about 3 jumps out ahead of all of us and what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. He knows how he's going to set it, and he also knows who he's facing. So, like your chances with him, and he's played so many games on the big stage, and Ole Miss is They haven't shown they played loose. They may be tight now. That changes things. I thought Auburn played tight last night, and Arkansas did not. So that's something to watch. And I don't bet, but I like Arkansas's chances tonight. And it's an awful lot of fun, guys. That's why I'm anxious to get up there and jump in the middle of some of this.
Yeah, it definitely is fun to watch, and it's been keeping everybody here in the Natural State on the edge of their seat. With the performance of Will McIntyre last night and, some of the criticism that Dave Van Horn got by going with Zach Morris on Monday, do you think that helped or hurt? Because, he explained that he was going with the statistics, was going left-handed, and Will McIntyre did have such great performance. Did it kind of help his case of going that way, or do you think it hurt and people would be more like, see what Will was able to do? He could have done that. You could have gotten the day off.
Hey, haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
So take your pick. I mean, you wouldn't, if you did it the other way, you wouldn't have him for tonight or last night. So pick your poison, right?
Yeah, true.
Clay, I hope I see you up here in Omaha in a few days. That would be a lot of fun.
All right. Thank you all for checking
Partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including updated odds on the NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget that the MLB is back as well. Who are you picking to win the World Series? BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.